Hello Chatbot community, Andrew Demeter here today. I'm super excited to finally spill the beans on what's been cooking recently at Chatfuel. Today we have officially rolled out the new sequences in dashboards for everyone. So super exciting stuff. You're probably asking, first of all, what is a sequence? So basically a sequence is an updated version of the broadcast functionality in Chatfuel. It's not a total replacement, but it's definitely in addition to those features. And I'll show you some of those differences right now. So previously in the broadcast tab here, you could send a message and you could filter based on users who had subscribed or unsubscribed. You could send different plugins, but you were limited in what you could send. For example, you couldn't send a user attribute plugin, you couldn't use a go-to block, etc. And it's kind of difficult to manage all those filters and plugins and so forth. More importantly, it's difficult because it's tedious to create broadcasts. There's no good way to visualize the organization of them. Plus, you have to go constantly back and forth between the build tab, which is now called the automate tab, and the broadcast tab. So it was kind of tedious in that way. But now the solution with sequences is that you can see right here, I have a sample sequence, which is enclosed in this drawer right here, which again makes it super easy to keep things contained and organized and clean in your dashboard. And in this sequence right here, I have a very visual overview of all the broadcasts that I'm sending in this sequence. So for example, if I want to rename this, which I previously couldn't do in the broadcast tab, I can now do that to help keep things organized. Also, I have a very easy way of seeing the different time triggers based on when these broadcasts will send. For example, this one will send 20 minutes after a user subscribes. This one will send 1 day after the previous broadcast was sent. This one will send another day after that previous broadcast was sent, etc. So that's how that works. But you're probably asking, well, how do users actually get subscribed to these sequences, right? I mentioned user attributes earlier, and you guys are going to be blown away by this. Super easy to understand. So in the welcome message here, I want to subscribe new users to this sample sequence. Just use this new fancy subscribe to sequence plugin. And what this does is, again, without having to manage user attributes and all that, you simply place this in your flow, and then users who go through that flow will get subscribed to the sequence. You can also add an unsubscribe to sequence, which is right here. So that'll do the same thing. If I were to type in sample sequence, it'll unsubscribe them from that sequence. You can send different plugins in here, which is really exciting. So again, previously you couldn't use things like the user attribute plugin, the go-to block. Now you can. So say that in this first broadcast that I sent, I'm going to delete this existing content. Say that I want to automatically out of the box A/B split test different blocks that I'm sending users to. I want to see if one is performing better than the other. So how I can do that is I can use a go-to block right here. And I can, let's say I want to randomize between the value content and the product offer blocks. What I do is just type in value content there, click random, add another block to randomize between, type in product offer. Now, 20 minutes after a user is subscribed to the sequence, they're going to get a broadcast. It's going to randomize which block they're sent to. And then I can see the statistics and the performance of that right here within the sequences. For each broadcast, I have the statistics. So right here, I have how many broadcasts were actually delivered to users, how many users actually saw or opened that message, and then finally the click-through rate. I can get each of those statistics for each broadcast individually. I can also get the average up here as a whole. Let's say that I want to send this block as a broadcast. What I can do to do that is just duplicate it, or I could just do it from the main block itself, but let's say that I want to duplicate here. So now I have this block, and let's say I just want to make that a broadcast. I just drag it up here super easily. I can change the time trigger. Let's say I want to send it 7 days after this final broadcast here. So I can do that, and now it gets sent. So super intuitive way to sort of duplicate existing content you have and send out broadcasts based on that. So for example, if you want to create an affiliate link for one of these broadcasts, super simple to do. Again, which you couldn't have done previously in the broadcast tab, you just create this, or click rather, this link button here. It creates a ref parameter or ref link. You copy that. Let's say that you're on a podcast and you want to promote it. You could call this, podcast. I'll copy this URL, and then you can paste that on, the show notes of the podcast that you're on, and you have a way of tracking all that data. You can send an unlimited number of sequences here in Chatfuel completely free. There's no restrictions on that. Also, your old broadcast setup in the broadcast tab previously will still work. There won't be any conflict or issues with that. It's so much easier to visualize the broadcast that you're sending out now. It's easier to, clone content that you already have. Better yet, it's all within this same ecosystem, if you will. You don't have to go back and forth between different tabs. The timing is super intuitive to set up. You don't have to worry about all these different complicated things like how long after this previous broadcast am I going to send this next broadcast, etc. So I think the team, obviously I'm biased, but I think the team has done a really, really good job with this new sequence functionality in Chatfuel. Really excited to hear your guys' thoughts. So leave a comment down below. How are you going to use sequences and all the possibilities that you have now as part of your chatbots, either for yourself or for clients? I'm really interested to hear. So again, leave a comment down below with how you guys plan on using this new functionality, and we'll chat soon. Enjoy, guys.